Episode 4 was the calm before the storm. Oh. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Alicia here. We are talking about the Ultimatum on Netflix, season 3, episode 4. Now, where we left off in episode 3, all of the trial marriages for the first 3 weeks have been determined, but we find out that Dave, Vanessa, Micah, and Chanel have left. They have left the experiment without a word to anybody. Now, I think it's at the top of this episode, or it may have been at the end of episode 3. Micah texts Chanel something at 3 a.m. Micah and Chanel end up meeting. They both end up going out, okay, to talk, I guess, talk or do something. I don't know, cry in each other's arms, say we can't do this anymore. I don't know. But whatever they did at 3 a.m., Chanel did not come back until like 8:32 or something. And next thing we know, Dave and Mariah are telling us that they done left, okay? I mean, Nick and Mariah are telling us that they have left. And I think it was hilarious because, you know how the little like blurbs come on, the little words come on, and they're like, you know, Dave, Vanessa, Mike, and Chanel have left the experiment. They decide to abruptly end their experience. And then we see the footage of them packing up and leaving, and Dave had walked up to the little like bookshelf or whatever, and he turned the camera around. So I'm like, Dave, at this point we done already caught you on candid camera. You might as well let it catch you walking out the door, because he had his bags packed and everything. I don't know why he turned the camera around, but whatever. Maybe something else happened that we'll never know. I don't know. But they leave. I'm more surprised, well, not really, because again, Dave had been setting all those rules, or Dave had told Vanessa that he does not want her doing bodybuilding anymore, and Vanessa said okay. So I'm not surprised now, because Dave is the one that wanted to leave the experiment once he saw how much luck Vanessa was having with the other men, but especially with Nick. Okay, Vanessa and Nick were looking like a match made in heaven. Quite honestly, they had the best chemistry. They were up there with both Sandy and JR and Zaina and Scotty as far as the best overall obvious chemistry, okay, with the new couples. But I'm not surprised at all that Micah and Chanel ended up leaving, because neither of them looked like they were really invested in getting to know other people. So hey, but then we cut to Mariah and Nick, because now they are without a partner. And I think it's in this episode, it is, where they end up coupling up with each other by default. But Nick is obviously not interested in getting to know Mariah, and is not interested in trying to do this experiment at all. Like, once Vanessa left, and I can understand because Vanessa was his strongest connection, and he didn't really have any chemistry with Mariah, and Mariah didn't have any chemistry with Nick. So I understand that both of them ended up deciding that they were going to continue to live separately, but they would still kind of meet up sometimes, I guess, to do like friend things. They weren't a couple. Then we switch over to Caleb and Aria. Their connection is cute. Honestly, their connection is just so cute. The way they speak to each other, I love it. And how intentional Caleb is about making sure, or like trying to do things that he think Aria might like. Like, I think, was it this episode? I don't know, but it's either this episode or like one of the other ones where she mentions how he got like 3 different types of chai tea, Thai tea, matcha tea, some kind of drink, because he wasn't sure which one she liked, but he knew that she liked tea. Caleb knew that Aria liked tea, so he got her some tea. Okay, you know, it's just little things like that where I was like, I can see it. And Aria was just lighting up around Caleb. Like, they were just opening up to each other, talking about the simplest things. I mean, it was just, and the body language was there. Like, they were facing each other every time. Like, they were looking, every time they talked to each other, they were engaged. And I hope they can see it too. Even if they both end up walking away single, it's clear that they had more chemistry with each other than they did with their original partners. Then Sandy and JR end up going on a bowling date, and again, even though I give JR some grace because people do judge him prematurely, he's still leading with sexual innuendos whenever they talk, which is why I'm confused why both of them keep saying, oh, this is the most vulnerable I've ever been. Oh, you helped me open up so much. Are they watching? Well, I know they're not watching the show because they're on it right now, but are we not looking at the same thing? Because on the bowling date, I think it's Sandy that says we should have a bet, and JR is like, okay, if Sandy wins, she said she wants him to cook her whatever she wants, or cook her something. And JR was like, okay, if you win, I'll cook you whatever you want. But he was like, but if I win, then what did he say? Oh, then you have to go to bed in my shirt and nothing else. At this point, JR has done everything but fall to his knees and say, please jump into bed with me. I buy the chemistry because it's obvious that they are both attracted to each other. Oh my gosh. They are a good example of bedroom eyes. The way JR looks at Sandy, if I was Zaina, I would be unwell. You could not convince, no, mm-mm. And then the way Sandy looks at JR, if I was Nick, once again, I would be unwell. But then, I think, also during that bowling date, yes, JR picks up Sandy, and then Sandy picks up JR a little bit, and he's like, whoa, whoa. And I was hollering, I was dying laughing because I did not expect Sandy to be that strong. But I said, okay girl, I see you. And then we we pop over to Nick, and he is painting his canvas because he is upset. Like I know he's crashing out too much, but he is like distraught, okay? He is spiraling because we found out later that he has been like calling and texting and blowing Sandy up. Because now he's alone in this process, so all he has left to do is sit there. And instead of reflecting on, well, maybe I haven't been the best boyfriend to Sandy, he instead reflects on Sandy being in a new relationship with JR and what they might be doing, what they might be getting up to. Was it Love is Blind? No, I think it was the Ultimatum, the previous season or season 1, when we had that ballerina girl on the show, and like we went to her studio, we saw her dancing and stuff. I feel like that is what we are now seeing with Nick and his painting. Like me and Bae were talking about that. He was like, look, maybe it'll go on sale, or it'll not go on sale, but maybe it'll be priced higher because to say like, you know, this is the painting I painted while I was at my lowest on the Ultimatum. Because we were watching him paint for a while. You know, Nick talking about how this is the first time in a while that he has painted while in distress, you know, from a place of distress, from a place of dismay, things like that. And I'm like, oh, okay, child, all right. And then we flash back to JR and Sandy in their room. The way that JR closed the door and the positions that they were in when he closed that bedroom door, I can only assume that things are starting to heat up, and once again, unwell. Which is why I would never go on this type of show, because I feel like if you go on these types of shows, you have to know yourself, okay? You have to know yourself, and I know me, I would crash out. Like, y'all be talking about like somebody stubbed their toe and start cursing as a crash out. That's not a crash out. No, I would be physically unwell. No, because in my mind, there's no coming back from stuff like this. Absolutely not. But we end on that. We end on him closing the door and a cliffhanger. So I'm trying to see what episode 5 is talking about, child. Again, please no spoilers. Please no spoilers. Okay? One episode at a time. We are all about to get into this messiness one episode at a time. But thank you so much if you made it all the way to the end. If you like these type of videos, please give us a like. If you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and do that. Go ahead and do that. And I will see y'all in my next one. Bye, guys.